weeks. I have no idea how old my daughter is. Not a damn. 3 people asked, I'm like, I have no idea. I lost count at 12 weeks. She's 12 weeks plus something. She's like, I do it in pounds. She's 9 pounds. That's how old she is. She's 9 pounds. She was a preemie, and now she's like finally gaining a little bit of weight. And we're spending the summer in Montauk. There are a lot of kids here, so I'm not going to curse. But I was going to say what I said on the show, but I'm not going to say it. Just the tip of Long Island, I will say that. I'm saying just the tip of Long Island. Yes, I'm a mother now, and I'm not cursing a lot. I will say holy balls because even children play with balls during sports, so I can say that. The only thing I will do, which could be considered a curse, but we're all family friendly here. So, I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions, and we're going to get to that after. We're going to talk about the Housewives, then Bethenny Getting Married, and then, oh, by the way, I happen to write 2 New York Times bestsellers, not that any of you care. Because I know you just want to gossip about the Housewives in my show, and that's totally fine, because I get it. I have a feeling, I think Kelly will not be coming back. I will not be coming back either. I don't think I'll be going... Don't you think I should move forward and not backwards? Right? I mean, I think they would want me to do like a cameo or 2, but I really think I need to move forward. So I don't think Kelly's coming back, and I feel like Jill's a big question mark. So that's the Housewives, and they're going to be starting shooting again soon. And we're picked up for a season 2. A lot of this is like sort of secret, like it's not out there, so I'm just telling you guys because I can't keep my mouth shut anyway. But anyway, we'll be back for season 2, so we're about to start shooting. Don't know if Max will be back, because he is not Julie. He can't be a good assistant. He's a moron. A moron. What? You want to be my assistant? Oh, perfect. All right, talk to Julie. Oh, this is all an application process. All right, Julie, your resume. She's here. So, as far as Bethenny Getting Married, it should probably be on in like a couple of months. So anyway, but this is the Health Expo, and you guys can ask me all kinds of gossip questions if you want afterwards. I did lose my baby weight pretty quickly. It was like a big international weight loss scandal, and I lost my baby weight quickly. I really didn't do anything drastic or anything at all. I wish I had some piece of paper I could give everybody, and it would, you know, make me millions of dollars, and I could be like, buy this diet. But I just did what I talk about in my book, Naturally Thin and Skinny Girl Dish. I was healthy before, during, and after. And a lot of people ask me, you know, do I work out like crazy? I have a yoga DVD, but I'll explain the whole thing. Basically, I think most people, when they get pregnant, it's a license to binge, and they say they're going to deal with it after. I think it's like a 9-month binge. And I didn't really restrict myself, but I didn't binge. I would go to the Cheesecake Factory and get the red velvet cheesecake, and I would take a little bit of it. I was just normal. Like really, enough of me belching. I just had a tuna fish. So who's tuna fish before they speak to 500 people? I just had I'm disgusted with myself. But I didn't really eat on the plane. So anyway, back to the weight. So I didn't really do anything drastic. And afterwards, I had a C-section, and the weight kind of just came off. And it just comes off. You just work out normally. You just eat normally. You don't get drastic. It's not about extremes, which is what my books are about. So the first book was Naturally Thin, and that is, aside from marrying Jason and having Bryn, my greatest accomplishment of my life. I mean, it really, really is. It taught me and it taught people how to unleash that noise that everybody has. I call it food noise. That internal anxiety. I was bad, I was good, I have to lose weight, my jeans don't fit, the obsessing, the counting what you're eating. I mean, I used to not be able to go to a restaurant without panicking about what I would order. I used to not be able to go on a date without wanting to be like, oh, I'm allergic to oil, or I used to be totally obsessed. And that book really just quiets down the noise. I mean, people have lost hundreds of pounds. And I meet people all the time. People have lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds. But then even just people who've lost about 5 pounds, the noise is gone. The whole worrying about it. We can go to Italy, we can go to Thanksgiving dinner, to a Super Bowl party. It's a toolbox that you can always pull from to just know what to do in every single circumstance, in every single situation with food, in every single stressful situation at a restaurant or when you're traveling on an airplane. And that, like I said, is really my greatest accomplishment, and it really does change people's lives because I just was honest about how obsessed I used to be and how I grew up with a bulimic mother and chain smoking and alcoholic. I mean, I do have a loose line, we'll talk about that later, but I'm certainly not an alcoholic, but I do my best to try to be. So So anyway, it's just the greatest thing ever because it just is so liberating to be able to live and even be pregnant and not even ever worry about it again. It just makes you never, ever worry about dieting again. And, oh, hi. She just decides to raise her hand in the middle of it. Hello. So Skinny Girl Dish is my second book, which that was teaching people how to more or less unleash their inner chef. I am a chef. I went to culinary school. Some people like to call me just a cook, not a chef. It's a SHIT, what I am. But I don't love to spend hours in the kitchen. I don't want to go to the supermarket and be stressed out over all different kinds of ingredient lists and procedures in a recipe. I don't use my Cuisinart or all the fancy equipment. I really don't. How I cook is I go into my refrigerator and whatever I already have, I accessorize that the way that you would your wardrobe. So this book teaches you 70 recipes. They turn into over 1,000 by teaching you how to use exactly what you already have. You use cilantro, I tell you, you can use parsley. If you don't have bananas in a recipe, you might be able to use butternut squash or whatever it is, and you end up coming up with all these happy accidents. You end up learning how to be a cook or a chef on your own. And it's just a very, very liberating book. A lot of takeaway stuff. There are recipes of Naturally Thin also, and a lot of cocktail recipes. But it all, just like Naturally Thin, it is all very logical once you read it. You're like, oh, that makes sense. I just feel like people stick to diets, and it's very cookie cutter, and life is not cookie cutter. I mean, you don't know if you're going to be at a stadium, you don't know if you're going to be at a health expo, you don't know if you're going to be at an airplane, you have to learn how to eat. And the same thing is about cooking. You may not have time to go to the supermarket. You may not want to spend the money to go buy a long list of ingredients. And this way, you just sort of you might have to go to the supermarket and buy basil just to go with what you already have. The book gives you staples that you keep in your kitchen, just to always have, to always pull something together. And I think both of them are just a great compliment, and everything I do is really easy and accessible. And it's the same thing with my workout. With the DVD, I really work out that much. I do a little bit of yoga when I can. And I feel like you shouldn't really obsess about that, just like you shouldn't obsess about food. Exercise when you can. Commit to yourself that if you're on vacation, every day you'll do it, or go into the weekend, take a walk to lunch or something. But when you're stressed out and you can't, don't. Like, I really think sleep is the most important thing, and I would always pick that before exercise. So I think that my whole entire philosophy is just to make it more accessible and easier and not overwhelming, and not to feel like, oh, I have to start tomorrow. There's no starting. It just is. You just know it. It's part of you, and it just will change your life and make you so much calmer. Makes the lamp stop screaming, like an epidural. Like an epidural, just calms all storms. So I'm sure you guys are gonna have a lot of questions, right? A lot of questions.